to Cricket on Air, friends. I'm Shri and you're listening to the story of Muttiah Muralitharan. In 1995, Sri Lanka went on a tour of Australia. In one of those test matches, Australian umpire Daryl Hare no-balled Muralitharan for an apparent act of chucking. This actually started a bit of a controversy between the Sri Lankan and Australian cricket boards. However, Australian crowds have since heckled Murli by continuously chanting "no ball" as soon as Muralitharan comes into bowl.
Yeah, that must be
sledging.
The crowd sledging the bowler actually. Yeah, but that must be really hard for Murli when he's bowling, right? Well, anyway, the thing that did work for Murli was that their then captain, Arjuna Ranatunga, was a huge supporter. He actually took the team, the Sri Lankan team, off the ground to show support to Murli. But in the end, it worked out. They got back and the match was resumed.
Yeah, I think that's in the spirit of the game. But what's more is that with profound humility, Murli swallowed those bitter pills. He submitted himself voluntarily to various complicated tests and correctional measures to meet the requirements of the ICC. After a lot of experiments, it turned out that Murli does not chuck the ball, but he's indeed has a magical arm. I mean, what a revelation that must have been. His naturally bent elbow and unusually flexible wrist and shoulders give an illusion as he's throwing a ball, but on the contrary, it is a perfect pin.
A legitimate delivery, basically.
Yeah. And ultimately, friends, all controversies were put to rest and he came forth triumphant, a legend in his own lifetime. Murli personifies the phrase, be humble in victory, but determined in defeat.
Yeah, I can imagine. But guys, coming back to the Australia controversy, did he ever tour Australia after that?
In 2003 and 2004, when the Sri Lankan team was supposed to go to Australia, he boycotted that tour. But just then, things kind of put themselves in perspective. The Sri Lankan island was hit by the tsunami and there was a lot of humanitarian aid that was required for Sri Lanka, and that's when Australian media and the Australian people requested Murli to come in and play in a tsunami benefit relief match in Australia. In a magnanimous gesture, Murli decided to go to Australia. He played that tsunami relief match and he also interacted with the crowds there. The Australian Cricket Board therefore also acknowledged Murli's magnanimity and announced the Vaughan Muralitharan series, by which they mean every series between Sri Lanka and Australia will henceforth be called the Vaughan Muralitharan Trophy.